And we're back, and this time I'm going to show you how to create logo design ideas using cutout effects in Adobe Illustrator. Let us dive right in. So the first effect is to simply create a cutout for a single letter within a lettermark logo. Let me show you how it's done. So I've used the type tool to type in a simple company name. Afterwards, just right click and create outlines. So now it is treated as shapes, and we want to use the line segment tool and just create a diagonal line above the O letter. Make sure it's still selected. I'll make that red so that you can see properly, and I increase the stroke weight over here. Maybe. Let me use 3 points. So it's still selected. Now go to Object and expand it. Make sure that stroke is checked. And now this is a rectangle. I can now select it all, or I only need the O letter and the red rectangle. Then I use the Shape Builder tool. I hold Alt and you can see the minus sign appearing below the cursor. And now I can get rid of these shapes. So this is how you can do that. It's a nice little detail and it works for many logo design ideas. You can use the same principle and make it a little bit more intense by applying it to many letters. Once again, I use the line segment tool. And I just drag a horizontal line. Let me do that right here on the right hand side. That's why I've created this. Once again, I need to turn the text into these outlines. Use the selection tool, select it all so that the horizontal line is selected as well. It doesn't need to have a stroke, we can simply use the Shape Builder tool. And it's gone. Afterwards, in the end, make sure that you select the line and delete it. And this is how you can recreate this effect. So I've exaggerated it here. So in this example it doesn't look that good. I wouldn't use it, but you can try it out. Try it out for different letters. That's why I've created this variation for you to show you this as an example. Another good idea is to just delete parts of the letters that are in line, especially with diagonal lines. And again, create outlines, so right click first. And instead of using the line segment tool, we'll use the pen tool. Let's go to an anchor point and then I'll just eyeball it here. If you want to deselect that, just hold Control and then left click. And that's the way you can create new lines. Once again, Control, left click. Alright, so we've got all of these lines. Just hold Shift and click on each. That way they are all selected at the same time. I once again swap the color so that I have a stroke. I make it red. Now let me increase the stroke weight, maybe to 2 points. Or maybe that's already too much. I'll stick to 1 point. And again it's strokes, so we can select it all, Object, and then expand it. And if we have the strokes checked, we now have rectangles, and we can use the Shape Builder tool to get rid of what we don't need here. And you can see it creates an interesting effect. Obviously, if I would create a real lettermark logo, I would make sure that all of these smaller details are fixed. So this example is just to show you how you can create these logo design variations so we don't take care of the details here that much. Another idea is to simply use a horizontal line and then create an angle for the letter mark and cut off the rest. Once again, we need outlines for that. Then I'll use the line segment tool. That was my mistake. Let me delete that. So I go to the bottom line. The smart guides help me with that. Then I hold Shift and I drag it to the right side. Make sure in the view that your smart guides are active, and I've only got snap to point activated. If you have snap to pixel activated as well, just deselect that. So now we want to rotate the letter mark, and we'll use the rotate tool for that. You can press R or simply click on it. Here's the center position. So if you keep it like that, it will be rotated around the center position. We want to create it at the bottom point. So simply left click on the anchor point of the C, and if I rotate it now, it's exactly what we want to have. Select it all so that the line is part of your selection. And now we can use the shape builder tool once again, holding Alt and getting rid of the excess shape that we don't need. Afterwards, select the line, delete it. And this is how you can create this effect. Obviously, you can also just keep the letter mark horizontally in line and give the line itself an angle, maybe something like this. It's the same process, it creates different results. I zoom holding Alt and then I use the mouse wheel. So if you didn't know that shortkey, this is what I'm using here. The next effect, you can see I've used a different letter mark here, my logo. And I've used it because it has two elements, the my and the logo. So if you want to use some of these effects, it always works well if you do that on letter marks that have these two elements. The basic process is the same one as before. So use the line segment tool, create outlines for the letter mark, then expand the appearance for the stroke, then use the shape builder tool. And there you go, you've got another logo design idea. Here's our final one. You can create cutouts with geometric shapes as well. So I've simply used rectangles in this example. And again, we need outlines. Select it, then use the rectangle tool. Let me make that red so that you can see that properly. And now just create them randomly. Maybe I put one here. It's fine. Select it all, use the shape builder tool, hold Alt, get rid of the red shapes. And this is another logo design idea. So you can see with these cutouts, we can create a lot of different effects, just like that. And it leads to interesting results that we may want to use to explore our final logo design further. Just add colors to it, add an effect to it, and you can see how easy you can create dozens, if not hundreds, of new logo design ideas. And this was everything I wanted to show you regarding cutouts in logo design. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.